Good morning. Happy Friday. Sorry, I was just looking for where I put my cards for today's Frequency Directive. I'm Kimberley, the founder of the Infinite Spark Collective. Welcome. I'm going to do two readings today, not all on the same recording. It would take a very long time. But I'm going to do the Frequency Directive today. And I have chosen three decks. This one is called The Journey Within by Radhanath Swami. This is a soul directed deck, meaning it's wisdom for spiritual living. This is James Van Prague's deck, The Soul's Journey. And I picked those two decks and I was coming out to get, coming around to sit down at my desk, and something told me to pull this deck out too, Soul Truth. So what we're going to do is, and I've just done a really quick ritual because, my sprays and everything, because I actually have a grocery order coming in about half an hour. And just making sure they're all out. Looks like these have questions on the front. So this would be questions. They're self-awareness cards. It says self-awareness is a beautiful thing. Your soul knows. Sorry, I'm trying to get it in the light so I can read this. Your soul knows what you want and has the map to get there. Sorry, my lighting is not great. Just give me a second here. See if that helps. Oh, that's better. Self-awareness is a beautiful thing. Your soul knows what you want and has the map to get you there. If you ask your soul for the right questions, openly listen and take soul-driven, inspired action, you can and will transform your life. It says forever, but we all know it's a process, right? So, Spirit, Universe, I am a clear channel for you. What does the soul of the collective universe need to know for their self-awareness? One card, that's all I was told to pick. Here's your self-awareness question. What if it was easy? It doesn't have to be hard. Call in the universe, the stars, the angels, and all their powers. Fuel the solution. Find the solution. Would you take the next step if it were easy? It's time to expect ease. Call in grace and receive your guidance. You are supported. Today's soul action: list 10 possible ideas for your soul's current calling. Lean into ease. It's here. You just have to say yes to it. Yesterday, I talked a lot about purpose in the reading. Our purpose can change throughout our life. It doesn't happen for most people, but it can show up for us in different ways. And I'm sure many of you have dreams, desires, goals. Take the time this morning or this afternoon, whenever you've watched this, over the weekend, and sit. And when I say sit, I mean in quiet. I don't necessarily mean meditate. You can if you want to. That doesn't always help me get my best ideas. Sometimes it's just complete silence. And that's actually really good for the brain because you don't want this to be a conscious mind thing. Because when your soul speaks to you, it is almost automatically instant when you ask it a question. So if you were to say, what are my 10 most current callings? Don't think about it, just start writing. And then put it aside, go back and read it for a day or, go back and read it in a day or two and see if it resonates because usually it will, because your higher self will essentially confirm it, right? And then you can actually figure out how to take conscious action and find ways to make one of, two of, three of, all of those callings happen. Because your callings tend to be related to your identities and personas, and we all know we have more than one, right? Trying to get these put back in the box there. I will be doing the collective bridge reading later. That's twin flames, romantic relationships, karmic relationships, etc. I've never used that deck, and that made that really easy. I didn't have to interpret a lot. I've never used James Von Prague's deck either, but for you twin flames out there, here's a good one. For anyone in a situation in life where you feel like you're trying to control the situation, it doesn't have to be if you're a twin flame, it could be anybody that you're having issues with and you're trying to fix it. Surrender. Funny, I'm actually going to use the Power of Surrender deck in the collective bridge reading. That's a deck by Judith Orloff. Surrender. I can release my need to control. You need to understand the distinction between power and control. You have the power of internal control, but very little external control over people or situations. The majority of your external control is through the power of influence, and you can lead by example. Every soul has its own unique path, and it's not your job to dictate it. So, in other words, you got to get out of their way and you got to get out of your own way. You got to get out of your own way of trying to control the situation or the person and just let them do what they need to do, whatever that is. Hold on, I have to let a cat out. I'll be right back. Oh, you want to go too? There you go. Sorry, I would have turned the camera on, letting you watch me send or let Mowgli and Oreo out, but then I would have to fuss about with trying to get the camera right to continue to do my reading for you. They're, I'll say it, they're my roommate's cats, but it's the roommate who's my twin flame. They're his cats. So let me get back. Um, Every soul has its own path, and it's not your job to dictate it. Giving advice or direction in a compassionate manner is the way to go. Your soul too has a path, and you possess the power to control it. But you must surrender the illusion that you have control over anyone else, because you don't. Because everybody's operating from their own conditioning, right? I'm just going to step in and something I've not done yet, and I'm going to start putting this in every reading, because I had somebody respond to one of my readings yesterday, and I made a lot of posts and comments for her. I am a life coach, but my advice, my guidance, is not a substitute for medical or mental health counseling or therapy. I can guide you in whatever best ways I can, but if you're dealing with relationship dynamics with your family, or you're dealing with physical health problems, yes, fine. Heed my guidance on the spiritual healing, the shadow work, the other guidance I offer, but don't negate doing anything else. Don't just leave it all, because you do have to look after yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. When you do that and you put that all together, you're whole again. And this is what you're here to remember. This is what the soul's journey is. All these human experiences you're meant to go through is to remind you of how whole you already are, how healed you already are, how full you already are, how capable you already are. Remember that this is a process, and from time to time, your ego will rise up and demand that things be the way they should be. Envision a hot air balloon being loaded up with all the things you think you need to control, and then let them ride away in that balloon. Let the balloon rise until it disappears from view. You'll be surprised to find that when you release the energy of control and accept the energy of surrender, doors will open that you never expected, because you now have been given the universal space in which to materialize what is needed for your highest growth. These are all the things I've been telling you all along, right? I've been telling you all of this. And I've never used these cards before either. Oh, oh, my box is damaged. Oh well, that's okay. There is no book with these. They come in different sections. There's like personal growth, relationships, servant leadership. So I shuffled. I pulled personal growth, a steady mind. Sorry. Come on, focus, focus, focus. A steady mind. Bhakti, the yoga of devotion, tells us that the life of mantra meditation, service, and association with enlightened people will keep the mind steady and provide the means to overcome bad habits and addictions. And I will tell you, since I've been listening to, and I've got them on public view. I've got 2 playlists of mantras, and I keep adding to them. Most of them are by Diva Permal. Her real name is Yolanta Fries. She's a devotee of Osho, the Indian guru, um, and her husband, Mitten. They met on Osho's commune when they were very, very young. And she has some beautiful, beautiful mantras. that she's written music for. I've got two playlists on um, my channel. Go listen to those. I put them in the order that I resonate with them at. Um, you can research each mantra. Her website has all the lyrics and stuff. Most of her albums and such you can actually listen to on YouTube or YouTube Music, Spotify, etc. It says that on their website. Um, and I'm sure the links are in the videos. That's true. Mantras do help steady the mind because what it does is it gets rid of the thinking process that happens when you tend to sit and try to meditate, and it creates a frequency. You don't even have to chant the mantras. I have mantras on those playlists that I don't even know the words to because they're actually said quite fast. So I just listen to them. But if you can listen to them with headphones, or if you really want to lift the frequency of the room you're in, play them out loud through the speakers in your monitor. Or if you've got a speaker that you attach to your phone, play them and just sit and listen to them. And many of them I actually put on loop and I listen to them 3 times. Three, sorry, is a magic number in manifestation. So I listen to them 3 times. Now I happen to sing actually a couple of them. I do Om Namo Bhagavate and the Gayatri Mantra, and I do those specifically because it's about connecting with the divine indweller, the God within you. But there are other ones. The first one, even though it says the Om mantra, the cosmic yes, you're not chanting Om, it's actually the Gauri, Gauri mantra. And there's a whole bunch of others. Most of them on the lists are Deva Premal, um, but there's others. Feel free to use those playlists. Feel free to put those videos on a playlist of your own. I actually took the time to research a lot of what the mantras are for and mean. Some of the producers of the video put in there what it is. You can always look it up. If the meaning of the words or the purpose of the mantra, if it resonates with you, put it on a playlist and go to it whenever you need to. I listen to it usually after I do the readings while I'm having my coffee. It's a coffee. It's my form of meditation. I don't usually have coffee first thing in the morning. I have my water. But basically, this entire reading is about you have to look after you. Learn to balance your 4 pillars of your temple: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, in whatever way works for you. That's up to you to figure out. Don't just take my advice and do what I do or say or do what I say I do. Do what works for you. And as I said, please understand that while I am here to coach you and guide you, it is not a substitute for medical or mental health advice. I'm just here to help blend that together so you become the better version of you that you can. I'll be back later with another reading. Until I see you later, namaste.